Are racing thoughts keeping you up at night? I used to lie awake for hours, overthinking everything from to-do lists to past conversations, until I discovered 5 simple sleep hacks that changed everything. I'll show you how I finally stopped midnight overthinking and started getting real, restful sleep. Ready to calm your mind and drift off faster? Let's dive in. Today, we will talk about how I stopped midnight overthinking with 5 easy sleep hacks. So before we start, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. The battle with midnight overthinking. Midnight overthinking had become a nightly routine for me. As soon as the world went quiet and I lay in bed, my mind would come alive with an overwhelming stream of thoughts. I'd start by replaying events from the day, then spiral into planning every future scenario possible. What if conversations, worst-case outcomes, and unresolved problems I couldn't fix at 1 a.m. It was exhausting. My body would crave sleep, but my brain refused to switch off. Over time, this disrupted my sleep cycle, affected my daytime mood, and triggered anxiety. I knew something had to change. I didn't want to rely on medications or sleep aids immediately. So I began researching ways to naturally quiet my mind and promote healthy sleep patterns. Hack number 1. Creating a predictable sleep wind-down ritual. The first major game changer was establishing a predictable wind-down routine, one that started at least an hour before my intended sleep time. I used to think that simply brushing my teeth and turning off the lights was enough, but it wasn't. My brain needed clear, consistent cues that the day was ending. Now I start by dimming the lights at around 9 p.m., then switch to softer activities like reading, journaling, or taking a warm shower. I avoid any loud noises, bright lights, or stimulating conversations. One of the most helpful parts of this ritual is journaling. I write down 3 things that went well during the day, followed by any unresolved worries. This helps me externalize my thoughts so they don't spiral later in bed. Eventually, this routine trained my mind to recognize when it was time to shift gears. Over a few weeks, I noticed that just picking up my journal or lighting my lavender-scented candle would signal to my brain that it was time to relax. The predictability created psychological safety. Our brains love patterns and predictability. When you offer that, your nervous system starts to relax. Also, having an intentional routine helped me transition out of problem-solving mode into a more reflective and accepting state. If you're battling midnight overthinking, start by crafting a personal bedtime ritual that avoids stimulation and encourages calmness. Hack number 2. Replacing scrolling with mindful listening. I used to scroll on my phone for an hour in bed, thinking it helped me wind down. In reality, it kept my brain in a hyper-alert state due to blue light exposure and the endless stream of new information. When I removed late-night scrolling and replaced it with mindful listening, such as sleep stories or calming music, my sleep quality improved drastically. I began using an app that plays guided meditations, white noise, or narrated stories with soothing voices. These didn't require me to watch a screen, and they gave my brain something gentle to focus on, rather than replaying the day's worries. Mindful listening creates a passive form of engagement that distracts you from anxious thoughts without adding more stimulation. I started with 10-minute meditations focused on breath awareness or progressive muscle relaxation. These techniques slowly guided my attention to the present moment and helped me connect with my body rather than staying stuck in my head. I also explored binaural beats and 432 Hz frequency music, which research suggests may help reduce stress and induce a sleep state. What's important here is to find an auditory tool that feels natural to you, whether it's raindrops, forest sounds, or a soft-spoken storyteller, and make it part of your sleep ritual. Hack number 3. Cooling the room and my body. Temperature regulation was a sleep hack I didn't expect to matter so much. But after reading that the body naturally drops its core temperature before sleep, I realized I was working against nature by keeping my bedroom too warm. When I lowered my thermostat to 65 degrees Fahrenheit, 18 degrees Celsius, and started taking warm showers 30 minutes before bed, which causes a drop in core body temperature after. I fell asleep faster and woke up less frequently. In addition to cooling the room, I swapped out my heavy blankets for breathable cotton sheets and started sleeping with a fan for airflow and white noise. This not only helped with temperature but also added a layer of soothing background sound that muffled any outside distractions. Overthinking often gets worse in dead silence because your thoughts feel louder. Ambient noise can act like a buffer, making it easier to drift off. I also paid attention to my body's comfort. I invested in a better pillow that supported my neck and tried sleeping in lighter, moisture-wicking clothing. Hack number 4. Practicing the 4 to 7-8 breathing method. One of the most powerful tools I discovered was the 4 to 7-8 breathing method, a technique developed by Dr. Andrew Weil. It's simple. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7 seconds, and exhale slowly for 8 seconds. This activates your parasympathetic nervous system, the part responsible for relaxation, and can literally lower your heart rate within minutes. I used to think breathing exercises were a bit overhyped, but I was wrong. When done correctly, especially while lying in bed with your eyes closed, this method can short-circuit spiraling thoughts and induce a meditative state. The reason this works so well is physiological. Holding your breath increases CO2 slightly, which causes a natural calming response in the brain. The long exhale mimics the body's natural sigh and helps release physical tension. I practice this for at least 4 full cycles when I first get into bed. If my mind starts drifting, I gently return to the rhythm. Sometimes I pair this with a mantra like "I am safe" or "let go," silently repeating it during the exhale. This combines breath control with mental focus, anchoring both body and mind. Hack number 5. Setting a worry time before bed. This might sound strange, but scheduling the time to worry actually helped me stop overthinking at night. I call it my pre-sleep worry session. About an hour before bed, I sit down and give myself 10 to 15 minutes to mentally go through anything bothering me. I write it all down. Unfinished tasks, emotional frustrations, random fears. The key is not to solve them, but simply acknowledge them. I also make a list of things I can't control and actively remind myself that I'll revisit the issue tomorrow if needed. This process helps reassure my mind that I'm not ignoring anything. I'm just postponing it until a more rational time. If you like this video and would like to see more like it, please give it the thumbs up. Leave a comment and click the button to subscribe.